Welcome back for game two of today's doubleheader between the Southwestern Illinois College Blue Storm versus the Vol State Pioneers. Blue Storm took game one 7-0. The Pioneers will send Eli Klopfelter to the mound here in game two. Klopfelter with his second start of the season through 5 innings down at Central Alabama last Saturday. Gave up 6 hits, no runs, 2 walks, 4 strikeouts. Did not figure in the decision in a game that was lost by the Pioneers 6-2 after winning game one of that doubleheader 1-0. The lineup for the Pioneers here in game two: Jake Burris will lead off, play center field. Ethan Huddleston, shortstop, batting second. Jace Mizell in right field will bat third. Landon Godsey at first base, batting fourth. Carter Vrabel at third, batting fifth. Brody Melton, the DH, batting sixth. The 7-hole hitter Hunter Searcy out in left field. Braden Vineyard behind the plate. He will hit eighth. Matt Hall back out at second base, batting ninth. We are awaiting the starting lineup here. They leaving this for us? You're good? You're good?
Yes, sir.
Okay, all right. So leading off, see how close it is to the original, or the starting lineup for game one. Mike Maloney leading off, playing shortstop. Jared Comia batting second. I assume he's back playing center field. Gavin Arsenault will be the DH and batting third. Jacob Rowald in left field, batting fourth. Nick Varon batting fifth, playing first base. We have a new catcher, number 44, Emmanuel Scott, will be behind the plate. Jonah James playing second base, will bat seventh. Cameron Hailstone playing third base, batting eighth. And Mason Rohr will play right field, batting ninth. And on the mound, number 23, Matt Maloney, the twin brother of Mike Maloney, who is stepping to the plate to face Eli Klopfelter. Here in game two, fastball swung on and fouled off of the left foot of Mike Maloney, and we are underway for game two at 4 o'clock Central on the dot. Thank you again for joining us here for game two. What in the world has just happened? To my scoreboard. 1 ball, 1 strike. I am efforting to get my scoreboard back, and a curveball hits Mike Maloney. There we go, a little technical difficulty. Nothing I can't handle right there. Make sure we're up and streaming. Jared Comia steps in with a runner on at first base, nobody out. He had 2 hits in game one. Struck out and hit by a pitch. One ball, 1 strike. Pull up YouTube on your phone there and make sure that we are getting out. There's a check swing foul ball. Gets away from the catcher, but the runner cannot advance on the foul ball. First, I didn't think he got a hold of that one, but Devin Flanagan home plate umpire here for game 2. Throw over to first base, not in time. We may be having some technical difficulties here on the stream. There's a ground ball up the middle. Ethan Huddleston gets a glove on it on a dive, but will not be able to keep it in the infield. Runner moves on to third base on the base hit. Putting runners at first and third with nobody out. Gavin Arsenault stepping to the plate. The designated hitter here in game 2. Breaking pitch in there for called strike 1. The breaking pitch misses outside. Called strike on the corner. One ball, 2 strikes to the DH. On deck, Jacob Rowald. Throw over to first base, not in time. Swinging a drive out the left field. Hunter Searcy goes back and will make the catch. So we'll drive in runner at third base for the first run here in the top of the first inning. Jared Comia stays at first base. Jacob Rowald steps to the plate. On deck, Nick Varon. Fastball misses outside. Another fastball high and away. So we are good to go on Twitter, looks like, but we might be having trouble on YouTube. I wonder if that has anything to do with the girls' softball game being broadcast, and along with probably a basketball game as that ball's lifted out to left field as well. Searcy, we get over in the gap and make out number 2. Comia hustles back to first base. So after a hit by a pitch and a base hit by Jared Comia, Eli Klopfelter with a chance to limit the damage here in the top of the first inning. Called strike on Varon. That outside edge. Breaking pitch swung on and missed. Varon 2 for 3 in game 1. Drove in 2 runs. Also walked, swing on a Pitch as the runner was going, fouls it back. The first 5 guys in the order for the Blue Storm, the same as game 1. Changes in the bottom half of the order. Breaking pitch, another foul off. Late getting the lineup, so I'm just now writing it into my book. Fastball high as Braden Vineyard started to throw down to first base, but the ball popped out of his glove. One-two count to Nick Varon. Fastball misses inside. On deck is Emmanuel Scott, catcher from Chicago, Illinois. 2-2 pitch swung on and missed. Nick Varon goes down swinging. And Klopfelter able to limit the damage to 1 run on 1 hit. No errors, 1 runner left on base. We're through a half inning, 1-0. Southwestern Illinois College leads. You listen to the Vol State Sports Network. On the mound for the Southwestern Illinois College Blue Storm, Matt Maloney for his first start of the season. He will face Jake Burris, Ethan Huddleston, Jace Mizell, hard-throwing right-hander. Misses with the first pitch. The twin brother of shortstop Mike Maloney, as I understand it, from Mokina, Illinois. Fastball swung on and fouled off to the right side by the only hitter to get a base hit in game 1. That's Jake Burris. Had a 1-out single in the bottom of the 7th inning. Erased on a 6-4 3 double play. There's another ground ball in a similar spot. Maloney off to his left, and so twin brother helps out twin brother on a 6-3 play. Nice play by Mike Maloney on that ground ball up the middle to retire Jake Burris. Sliding catch of a ground ball up the middle and came up throwing on to Varon at first base. Ethan Huddleston steps to the plate. He will attempt to lay down a bunt, pulls the bat back, and pitch called a ball. Grounded into the 6-4-3 double play to end game one. Sees pitch go outside. Ball two. Huddleston 0 for 3 with a hit by pitch in game one. Hard throwing right-hander goes 3 balls, no strikes to the Pioneers shortstop with Jace Mizell on deck. Fastball in there for strike one. 3 balls and a strike. Apparently we are having trouble on YouTube. There's another called strike, brings us to a Framework Athletics full count. Not sure what the problem is, if we have issues with softball. There's a ground ball to third. New third baseman over there is Cameron Hailstone, and he throws over to Varon for out number 2. Does cause problems for a broadcaster if you don't get the lineups in time. I am scrambling here still with the issues. That looks like we are now up on YouTube. So sorry for those of you that may have been trying to watch and had technical difficulties here. Mizell now down in the count, no balls, 1 strike. He grounds one foul just past the Pioneers dugout. Not a technical wizard. I can plug in things and play things, but not a big software guy. So if I have a little bit of trouble, I need to call audio and video engineer extraordinaire AJ Fawson here at Vol State. That ball's driven into left field, and that will get down for a base hit by Mizell. He was on his way to second base, and he will get in there sliding ahead of the throw from left fielder Jacob Rowald. And in game 2, it takes the third batter before Pioneers collect their first hit. So 2 out. Double by Jace Mizell brings Landon Godsey to the plate. Was not retired in game 1. Did not collect a hit. Strike called there. Walked twice and hit by a pitch was Landon Godsey. Pioneers now looking for their first run of the afternoon. Sun behind the clouds. Fouled off to the right side. Godsey now down in the count. No balls, 2 strikes. So Manuel Scott behind the dish for Southwestern Illinois. Catching Matt Maloney, sophomore right-hander. Swing and a miss on a changeup. And down goes Godsey. Pioneers, no runs, 1 hit, no errors, 1 runner left on base. Find themselves down 1-0. You're listening to the Vol State Sports Network. Emmanuel Scott leading off for the Blue Storm here in the top of the second inning to face Eli Klotfelter. First pitch in there, called strike. Nice breaking pitch by Clot, as he is called. Sophomore from Ringgold, Georgia. Swinging a tapper over to the on-deck circle for the Pioneers. Emmanuel Scott shows he's 6 foot tall. Looks a little taller as I look out these MGM Industries windows. 195 pounds. Sees an 0-2 pitch go high and away. From Chicago, Illinois. A redshirt freshman. Here's the backup catcher here for David Garcia's Blue Storm. He goes down swinging for the first out. Here in the top of the second inning. Klotfelter, if you missed the beginning of the ball game due to our technical errors on YouTube, hit the first batter, leadoff batter Mike Maloney, gave up a single off the glove of the diving shortstop Ethan Huddleston, moved runners to first and third with nobody out. A sacrifice fly to left field by Gavin Arsenault drove in the only run of the ball game thus far. Klotfelter able to induce another fly out and then struck out Nick Varon to end the first. Now 1 ball, 1 strike. Count it 1 ball, 2 strikes to Jonah James, a new second baseman for Swick, Southwest Illinois College. Jonah James wearing number 11, 5'9", 165 pounds sophomore, and he delivers a ball out that could be trouble if it's fair, and it will go foul. Count remains 1 ball, 2 strikes. He is from Columbia, Illinois, a sophomore. As a freshman, played in 29 games for the Blue Storm. Collected 8 hits, all singles, 2 RBIs. He had 46 plate appearances, official plate appearances. Getting the start here in game 2. Look at a pitch inside. Full count to the batter is inside corner. They put the full count up there and then throw strike 3. The Framework Athletics full count. And a backwards K, 3 strikeouts in a row for Eli Klotfelter. Klotfelter had his family in attendance at Central Alabama last weekend. I'm not sure if they're back up here in Gallatin this weekend as that breaking pitch gets on the outside corner, called strike to Cameron Hailstone, the new third baseman for the Blue Storm, 6 foot, 195 pound sophomore from Gillespie, Illinois. Klotfelter steps off the mound. On deck, Mason Rohr, new right fielder. A swing and a miss. Klotfelter's got that breaking pitch going. He is tough to hit. 5'10", 190 pounds sophomore. Son of Rob and Crystal Klotfelter. Has a younger sister, Maggie. Paul in Ringgold and a Mimi in Tunnel Hill. 0-2 pitch foul straight back. 11 appearances a year ago, 7 starts, had a 1-3 record, 27 innings. Struck out 27 batters. Gave up 1 home run. Tried to step on a fastball right there, threw it down in the dirt. Braden Vineyard from Paducah, Kentucky, behind the plate for the Pioneers. Caleb Hawkins in inning number 1 in game 1. As that ball is tapped to third, Vrabel will collect, throw over on the left side. A little bit low, Landon Gotze stretches and collects that throw for out number 3. So a 1-2-3 inning for Clotfelter. Takes us to the bottom of the second inning. Pioneers looking for their first run here on the home opener. Down 1-0. You're listening to the Vol State Sports Network. Carter Vrabel will lead off the bottom of the second inning for the Pioneers. Again, looking for his first hit as he taps one foul down the third base line. It's going to come, folks. And Carter Vrabel can carry a team when he gets hot. Now is a good time to start. Matt Maloney back out on the mound here for inning number 2. Changeup misses low and outside. Vrabel in game 1, 0 for 2 and a hit by pitch. That was his second hit by pitch of the season. Drives one high and out to right field. Back goes Mason Rohr. Now he goes over toward the line. He started to go to his right and then turned 90 degrees toward the right field line and makes the grab for out number 1. Wind blowing in from center field. It'll be tough to get one out of here today. It'll shift coming straight into the plate and then move over toward third base. But getting one out of here to right field, you're going to have to turn on one. That brings true freshman Brody Melton to the plate from Tullahoma, Tennessee, and he swings at the first pitch. Fouls it down the third base line. Coach McGuire keeping his record intact, not making any grabs down at third base. A smart man. There's a hard shot in the left field. Base hit for Brody Melton. His second hit of his collegiate career. And the second hit of the ball game for the Pioneers. It's a 1-out base runner. Brody Melton, a very, very impressive fall season for the Pioneers. And that's why he is freshman hitting in a sophomore and redshirt sophomore heavy lineup as Hunter Searcy steps to the plate. Sophomore from Louisville, Kentucky. Second-year player here with the Pioneers. Hunter Searcy looking for his first hit of the year. Throw over to first base to keep the speedy Brody Melton at first. Melton probably not going to be taken off unless there's a 3-2 pitch as Searcy looks at a ball called a strike at the knees. Looks different out there, that Toyota Gallatin scoreboard, doesn't it? As another throw over to first base. We're used to seeing red numbers on a blue scoreboard out there, but now we're seeing bright yellow / little tint of orange on the black background. First game, now second game being used, so first day of the new scoreboard. Fantastic support by Toyota of Gallatin across the street, so thank you to those folks for their donation of scoreboards for the baseball team and for the softball team across campus. Throw again over to first base. Melton must be striking fear into the heart of Matt Maloney, who any coach who may be calling pickoffs. Searcy looks at a pitch inside on the hands. Count goes 3 balls and a strike. So a double by Jace Mizell and now a single by Brody Melton. Now the Pioneers just have to put a few of these together. Get somebody to cross home plate. Lost game 1, 7-0, giving up 2 runs in the 4th inning, and then the wheels fell off in the 6th, giving up 5 runs. Melton, Searcy, Melton on first base, hits one off the handle, and it will go foul, picked up by Cameron Hailstone down there at third base. Bring us to a Framework Athletics full count. Framework Athletics, where the Pioneers train, hitting and pitching when they can't get on the field here at Tim Garrett Baseball Complex on the campus of Vol State Community College. Friends Zach Duke and Ryan McDuffie own Framework. Ball is fouled off. A full count first pitch foul ball. 1 for 2 now here in game 2. Went 2 for 4 in game 1. When the batter swings, once the count becomes full, if he swings, he fouls it off last year about 52% of the time. There's a swing and a drive. That'll get into the parking lot, and it might be trouble for vehicles parked over there in front of the athletic facility, Pickle Fieldhouse. Looks like the sun has gone in for the day. We've got lights on here at Pioneer Field. Hopefully we won't have any glare with our camera looking through these bright windows. 3-2 swung on and missed. Kept in front by Emmanuel Scott, but down goes Searcy. It's an off-speed pitch right there that just died when it got to the plate. Second strikeout for Maloney.
Number 37, Braden Vineyard.
Will take a 2-out RBI. Braden Vineyard picked up the first 3 hits of his collegiate career in the final game of the 4-game set against Central Alabama last Sunday. Vineyard looks at a called strike on the corner. He'd gone 0 for 11 in his freshman campaign, and then I think he had gone 0 for 3 until he started the second game of the second day and went double-double, strikeout single. 2 RBIs. It's a throw over to first base. Brody Melton getting those legs stretched out as he's lunging toward the base. So a 3 for 4 day, 2 RBIs, 3 runs scored for Braden Vineyard in his breakout ball game, second game of the year. And here he is in this game 2, and he's now looking at an 0-2 count as he looked at 2 pitches on the inner half of the plate. On deck, Matt Hall. Brody Melton on at first base with a base hit into left field. Fastball chin high to the Paducah, Kentucky native. Got in 7 games a year ago, did collect 11 official at-bats. But 16 total at bats as he walked 5 times, and he swings at another. That changeup has got the Pioneers batters fooled right now. So he swings at a ball in the dirt and strikes out. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, 1 runner left on base. After 2 complete, Pioneers are down 1-0. Thank you for joining us on the Vol State Sports Network, YouTube, and Twitter. Mason Rohr leading off the top of the third for the Blue Storm. Looks at a Clotfelter fastball inside. Number 9 hitter in the Blue Storm lineup. Curveball in there for a called strike. Rohr did not play in game 1 of the doubleheader. Getting a start in right field here in game 2. Breaking pitch swung on and missed. Clotfelter's given up 1 hit, has hit a batter, struck out 3 in the first 8 to come to the plate. It's a fly ball to left field. This should be a routine fly ball. It is high as Searcy will come in to make the catch. Mike Maloney steps back into the box. He was hit by a pitch to lead the game off and ended up scoring on a sacrifice fly by Gavin Arsenault. Maloney, part of the Mike and Matt Twin show from Mokina, Illinois. Fastball misses down low. Maloney, as a freshman, played in 53 games, 62 hits, hit .380. One ball, 1 strike to Maloney. Breaking pitch driven out to center field. That's Jake Burris territory out there. He'll move over into right center field and make the catch. 2 flyouts, 2 outs to start the 3rd inning for Eli Clotfelter, the sophomore from LaGrange, Georgia. Graduated high school in Indianapolis, Indiana. I believe he played college summer ball this past summer up there in Indiana as well. I think along with Landon Godsey, who's also from Indianapolis. Pitched into Jared Comia. Misses inside. Comia, I believe it was a 2-strike count in his last at-bat in game 1, was hitting the hands. Taps 1 foul. Clotfelter retired the side in the 2nd in order. Looking to do the same thing here in inning number 3. Thank you for joining us on the Vol State Sports YouTube channel and on Twitter. Swing and a miss on a big breaking pitch. Not sure who tomorrow's starter is yet for the Pioneers. Games 3 and 4 last weekend were started by Danton Reinhardt and Nathan Rhodes. There's a breaking pitch that lands just behind the left knee. Brings us to a Framework Athletics full count. Zach Duke, one of the co-owners of Framework Athletics at 104B Jessica Lauren Court in Hendersonville. 15-year Major League Baseball pitcher, and that curveball just misses outside. Tough pitch to take with 2 strikes, but Comia reaches first base for the second time in 2 plate appearances here in Game 2. Comia was on 3 out of 4 times at the plate in Game 1. Gavin Arsenault steps in, the DH here in Game 2. Played second base in Game 1. He went 0 for 3 with a walk and a run scored. Two-out pitch, and that's going to be a base hit in the right field. Jace Mizell comes in hard. Comia will stay at second base. So a little 2-out rally going here for the Blue Storm. Brings up Jacob Roald. It's now 2 hits in Game 2 for the Blue Storm. Roald flew out to left field in his first plate appearance. Oh for 2 in Game 1. Fastball stays up high. Roald from Valmeyer, Illinois. 5'11", 195-pound sophomore. Playing left field here in Game 2. Breaking pitch just outside. Klopfelter not getting that call on the outside corner to left-handers. It talked about last weekend that maybe in high school and college that they ought to just go ahead and make the plate a little bigger than the 17 inches that it actually is. Major League Baseball plate all the way down. I don't think there's a different size plate made in any level of baseball, but it's definitely called that way. And a 3-0 pitch here from Klopfelter is right down the can. Obviously in basketball at the lower levels, younger levels, the height of the basket is not 10 feet. I know there was a time in NBA they talked about raising the height of the basket from 10 to 11 feet or whatever. That ball has popped up into right field. Jace Mizell will go back and then move over toward right center to make the catch for out number 3. So 3 flyouts in the inning, sandwiched around a walk and a single. All 3 outfielders make a put out in the top of the 3rd. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, 2 runners left on base. Pioneers need a run. Heading to the bottom of the 3rd, you're listening to the Vol State Sports Network. Tim Reese back on the campus of Volunteer State Community College in Gallatin, Tennessee, just outside of Nashville, Tennessee, about 20 miles up in Sumner County. We are in game 2 of today's doubleheader between Southwestern Illinois College and the Vol State Pioneers. Matt Hall leads off against Matt Maloney. First pitch to Hall, misses high. Pioneers with 2 hits, now looking for their first run of the day. Matt Maloney, sophomore for Southwestern Illinois. There's a strike called. I'm not sure what happened with Emmanuel Scott. He must have been crossed up, as that fastball definitely could have and should have been caught. Lucky for the Blue Storm that it was only strike 1 on the batter at the time. Now 1 ball, 2 strikes. Maybe a cross-up somehow or another. Scott delivers the signal. Swung on and driven foul on a high fastball. Maloney, as a freshman, appeared in 10 games, 2 starts, had a 2-2 record, 31 innings pitched. Gave up 30 hits, walked 13, struck out 36 batters at a 3.98 ERA. Very good freshman campaign. Another line drive that hits off the third base fence and is retrieved. The Lady Pioneers, according to the schedule, it indicates that they play a single game today against Jackson College at 5 o'clock. Ball lifted out to center field, and Comia goes back about 3 steps and gets under it for out number 1. So whatever our issue was with YouTube, it had nothing to do with the Lady Pioneers starting their YouTube broadcast. They have a live stream with a scoreboard like we do. They are looking for a broadcaster, though. I'm trying to find one of the students that does basketball here to volunteer to pick up some of the games, if not all of the games, for the Lady Pioneers. I told them I'd be happy to help them get them started, but so far nobody stepped up as Burris drives one out to right center field, and a catch falling away from right center field back toward not only the warning track, but also as he's backing up toward the line, the right field line, is Mason Rohr, who makes the catch. A nice play. I wouldn't say the greatest jump on it, but he was able to zero in on that ball as it came back to him, and he caught that ball basically falling backwards. So 2 outs. Brings Ethan Huddleston to the plate, and he swings and misses. Huddleston grounded out the third. So I had some flyouts here, the last outs of either team, as Huddleston now down in the count, no balls and 2 strikes. There were several strikeouts in inning 2, but inning 3 is 5 outs by 5 flyouts. If this one goes to the left fielder, it'll be a 2 flyouts per each outfielder here in the 3rd inning. Matt Maloney on the mound, and apparently some issues between pitcher and catcher, as Emmanuel Scott will go out, talk to Maloney, who's given up 2 hits, struck out 3, yet to walk a batter. Not sure if Maloney is confused about the count or what's going on, but he's in his windup and delivers. Fastball high. There's that changeup that has been a bugaboo for the Pioneers at the plate, especially with 2 strikes. Huddleston able to hold up. He drives one in the left field. That will get down for a base hit. 2 out, single for the Pioneers shortstop, Ethan Huddleston, ahead of the dangerous Jace Mizell. So Maloney hung one up there for Huddleston, and he jumped all over it for the 3rd hit for the Pioneers. Now Jace Mizell collected a double into left field, his first plate appearance. Huddleston on first. Pitch on that inside river called strike 1. Umpires call the river that area between the edge of the plate and the start of the batter's box. That's that 17-inch plate that turns into 19 to 20-inch plate, which is fine. It keeps the game moving. So batters just need to realize, throw over to first base. Pretty quick move over there by Maloney. Huddleston back in fingers first. Batters just need to realize that the plate is bigger than it appears. Runner stays put, swinging a foul ball at the plate. Game time temperature 52 degrees, felt like 48. Which was down a couple degrees from game 1. Mizell started to go on that inside fastball. Wise decision to hold up. He struck out a couple times on some high fastballs here in the first 5 games. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Huddleston stays put. Swung on a tap down to third base. Cameron Hailstone throws on the run. It's in the dirt, not able to be dug out of there by Varon. And on the play, Huddleston will move to third base. So that will be 2 errors on 1 play. Well, actually, probably not. They probably just give an E5 on the play, and Huddleston will move to third on the 2-base error. So first error of the day for Blue Storm. It's a 2-out rally going as Landon Godsey steps to the plate. Swing and a miss by Godsey. Looking to drive in the first run of the day. There's a ball that gets away. There's going to be the first run probably as Ethan Huddleston comes in feet first on what, I guess I'd probably have to see that again. Let me see if I can see it on YouTube on a delay here to see if I'd call that a wild pitch or a pass ball. Wild pitch, Tyler Holsworth says, and I won't disagree with him. In the first run of the day for the Pioneers, no RBI awarded on the play. Jace Mizell will move down to second base. Looked like the pitch was tailing away glove side from Emmanuel Scott. He just didn't look like he turned the glove over. As a former catcher, I think he probably thought I should have had that. Strike 3 called on a changeup. And down goes Godsey. I believe that was a 1-2 pitch. Strikeout looking, but the Pioneers do finally get the first run of the game. A single, an error, and a wild pitch. So an unearned run for Vol State on one hit, one costly error, one runner left on base. After 3 complete, Pioneers and Blue Storm all tied up 1-1. You're listening to the Vol State Sports Network. Nick Varon leading off for the Blue Storm. Here in the top of the 4th inning. Breaking pitch by Eli Klopfelter, called strike. Trying to go back and look at the pitch again. Called strike 2, Varon. And with all that I have to do, I can't do that. Tyler Holsworth at the same time. Breaking pitch misses down and in. It's too many plates spinning for me. One-two pitch from Klopfelter. Swung on and lifted out to right field. Jace Mizell will amble over to the line. Catch that ball in fair territory by about 4 steps just outside of your view. But you'll have to trust me, folks. Nick Varon just flew out to right field. Four fly ball outs in a row for the Blue Storm brings Emmanuel Scott to the plate, who struck out swinging in his first plate appearance. Breaking pitch swung on and took a bite out of his counterpart, Braden Vineyard. That got him in a lower body. Might could have got him in an ankle, I thought, but we will see when he gets up. He's up on the left foot, so it. Coach McGuire in the red sweatshirt and pitching coach Braden Kale out. And I don't know, the way that Braden Vineyard's standing there, it might not have got him in either one of his feet. That might have got him in a spot that you just kind of need to take some deep breaths and walk around a little bit and shake a left leg, shake a right leg. But a strike 1 to Emmanuel Scott, who checks with Braden. Make sure he's okay. Coming up on 5 o'clock Central Time here in Middle Tennessee. And there's a fastball in there called strike. Klopfelter giving up 2 hits. Hit a batter and walked a batter. And now giving up a seeing eye hit into right field as Scott went with that breaking pitch, just as you're taught, served it into right field. Third player for the Blue Storm to collect a hit today, his first hit of the season. Puts a runner at first base with 1 out. Jonah James stepping to the plate. He struck out looking in the second. Klopfelter now looking for a ground ball at an infielder. James slices one off to the right side. It'll get through the brush into the field on the other side of the trees that line the first base and right field line. See pine trees out in right center field. Throw over to first base. Back in time is Scott. David Garcia, head coach for the Blue Storm, coaching down at third base. And one of his 3 assistant coaches down at first. Maybe Jeff Wetzler or Adam Donahue. Could be Casey Fair or Kevin Munline. Don't believe it's the pitching coach. Runner goes. Line drive just past Matt Hall's outstretched and leaping left arm of the glove. Throw by Jacob Burris in to keep Scott at third base. So the hit and run works to perfection. Jonah James collects that line drive. That could have been a double play. But Matt Hall just not able to make the grab. Scott moves over to third base. Back-to-back hits for Southwestern Illinois. Has them in business. Cameron Hailstone steps to the plate, third baseman, who grounded out to third base in his first plate appearance. Clotfelter looking for a strikeout or ground ball to a middle infielder. Misses with that breaking pitch outside. On deck, Mason Rohr, who's made a couple of nice defensive plays out in right field. Pioneers trying to split the doubleheader here today. Ball tapped foul. Lost game 1, 7-0. Southwestern Illinois College's first game of the year. They went to 1-0. The Pioneers dropped to 2-3. Blue Storm 7 runs, 10 hits. Pioneers no runs on 1 hit. Delayed steal and ball goes down into the dirt. Vineyard no throw as the count goes 2 balls and a strike. My unofficial book, I'm going to award a stolen base. I think he was actually going on a delayed steal. It looked to me like out of the corner of my eye. Time called. Infield stays back. No double play. Traditional double play situation in order here. Clotfelter definitely looking for a strikeout, and he gets a called strike there on Cameron Hailstone, sophomore from Gillespie, Illinois. Two-two count. Fouled off as Hailstone stays in there. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Two-two pitch popped up into shallow right field. Matt Hall over and continues to go over. Makes the catch right behind where Landon Godsey was playing. 4 out number 2. Ball started out a little closer to where Matt Hall was originally standing, and he just kept going and kept going. It's at least the 3rd pop-up he's able to snag today. Been all over the field. 2 outs now, and Mason Rohr stepping to the plate. Flew out to left field. Clotfelter looking to shut this rally down. Called strike to Rohr. Rohr spelled R-O-E-H-R. Mason from Granite City, Illinois. Redshirt freshman. Breaking pitch that Vineyard able to get outside the left-handed batter's box practically to snag that one. Good thing he's 6'2" and has a long wingspan. 1 ball, 1 strike. Breaking pitch in there for a called strike. Emmanuel Scott down at third base. He reached on a single. Jonah James down at second base. He also reached on a single, hit and run. That moved Scott to third. James then stole second on there as that pitch just misses the left hip of Mason Rohr. 2s are wild. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, 2 on. Here in the top of the 4th inning. Glatfelter working to shut it down. Almost hits Rohr again. Brings us to a Framework Athletics full count. Ex-Major League Baseball players and college players that provide instruction over at Framework Athletics, baseball and softball training. As a ball lifted up to the left field, Hunter Searcy goes back and will make the catch. 1 step into the warning track, and Eli Glatfelter gets out of the jam. Another fly out the left field by Mason Rohr. No runs, 2 hits, no errors, 2 runners left on base. Still tied at 1. You're listening to the Ball State Sports Network. Tim Reeves back for the bottom of the 4th inning here on the live stream, Vol State Sports Network, YouTube, and Twitter. Carter Vrabel stepping to the box to begin the bottom of the 4th. He swings and pops one up. That'll get out of play. Back behind the press box, facing Matt Maloney, who's on for his 4th inning. Started and has given up a hit in each of the first 3 innings and 1 run, which was unearned. There's a pop up into shallow left field. That is a high fly ball that Jacob Roald will come in to collect for out number 1. Carter Vrabel still looking for that elusive first hit of the season. Brody Milton stepping to the plate. Single to left field in his first at-bat. Brody, good-looking true freshman. And he may have fouled that ball off. Almost got hit by the pitch. But he's pretty happy he did not make contact. 6'4", 205-pound freshman from Tullahoma, Tennessee. Swings and gets that one off the end of the bat. So basically you'd say he's had 2 pretty poor swings here. Thank God there's 3 strikes in an at-bat. And all it takes is one. Brody, the son of Sam Melton and Amy Morris, both of Tullahoma, has younger siblings, and he hits a ground ball down to first base. And Nick Varon will make the play unassisted. A little better swing right there at a pitch. Brody Melton does go up swinging. Now 1 for 2 in the game. Hunter Searcy, left fielder for the Pioneers, steps to the plate.
Number 12, Hunter Searcy.
Hunter, the grandson of Pawpaw and Situ in Louisville, Kentucky. Looks at ball 1. And Nana from Linden, Kentucky. So Pawpaw was Larry Sr. Met him last year at several games. Hunter swings and misses. Looking forward to when the weather gets a little bit nicer that grandparents will come out to the ballpark. More fans will come out. Hard ground ball down that third base line. Coach McGuire, no attempt. It's exactly what I'd be doing. You don't get any busted fingers if you don't try to stick one down there, collect a hot shot right there. And who's he trying to impress? Searcy, 1-2 pitch. Another shot down to the bullpen. Searcy played in 12 games as a freshman. Got 23 official at-bats, had 9 hits for a .391 average. 3 doubles and a triple, 11 RBIs. It's a ground ball to short. Mike Maloney, backhand, strong arm throw over to first base to retire Hunter Searcy. So a 1-2-3 inning for Matt Maloney with the help of twin brother Mike. We will go to the top of the 5th inning, still tied. You're listening to the Vol State Sports Network. Eli Klopfelter out for the top of the 5th inning. He'll face 1, 2, and 3. And the Blue Storm lineup. Game 2 on the season for the Blue Storm. Game 6 for the Pioneers as Klopfelter pours in a fastball in the inside corner called strike. Eli's only given up 1 run. There's strike 2. To Mike Maloney, who's been in that leadoff spot for both games. Tries to pick on that outside corner at the letters, but just misses. Line drive just past the Blue Storm dugout. Hits off the wall, down toward the bullpen. Somebody comes out of the bullpen to nab that one. Breaking pitch, hard breaking pitch, misses outside. Clotfelter, 1 walk, 3 strikeouts, a hit batter. Hit batters who came back is this young man right here at the plate who led off the game, being hit by a pitch and came around to score on a sacrifice fly. Continues to fight off good pitches by your young right-hander from Ringgold, Georgia. The 2-2 misses inside, gets by Vineyard. Count goes full. This full count will be brought to you by Dudat Communications. Craig Senard over there has provided artwork for the press box and for the locker room, and that breaking pitch just missed outside the second walk of the contest. Jared Comia stepping to the plate.
Number 1, Jared Comia.
Seen him try to lay down a bunt once. We'll see if he tries it again. Squares around. Pitch misses inside. Looks like he's got a bit of speed to him, so this might be a sacrifice bunt. I'll see if I can get on. Throw over to first base. Comia does not commit by squaring around early. The throw not in time to get Maloney. Mike Maloney, 8 for 10 a year ago in stolen bases. Again, Comia drops down on the bat. Pitch looked pretty good, but called ball. Swing and a miss on the 2-0. He wasn't trying to sacrifice there. Might see a hit and run with a 2-1 count coming. Comia has done a good job of going the opposite way, so maybe a good idea to let he will square around a bunt, drop one foul as it goes backwards. It's got to be frustrating. Asking a kid just to put the ball down. Curveball, a lot of times easier pitches to bunt on, at least my experience. I'd rather bunt a breaking pitch that I can follow all the way in and see a lot longer than that fastball. 2-2 pitch now. Not now. We'll throw over to first base. Again, Jared Comia is a sophomore. Don't show him on the stat sheet a year ago for Southwest Illinois College. He looks at pitch, it drops right down to the shins. Have a Dudat Communications full count. Deliver quality printing and design to the community and across the nation since 2006. Runner goes. Pitch is down low for ball 4. And 2 runners have been gifted to start the 5th inning. That will bring pitching coach Braden Kale out of the Pioneer dugout, and it will get somebody up in the bullpen. It looks like redshirt sophomore Chase Birdwell from Lebanon, Tennessee will start loosening. I don't have an official pitch count for Eli Clotfelter, but he doesn't look like he's gassed out there at all. But now he's pitching some high-stress pitches with the top of the order now on base, and Gavin Arsenault, the 3-hole hitter at the plate, driven in their only run of this game, too. He had a sacrifice fly in the first inning. Also delivered a single to right field. Arsenault shows 5'10", 165 pounds. Not your classic three-hole hitter in a lineup. From Oswego, Illinois. And he will try to move the runners around, but drag bunt there instead of the square around or traditional sacrifice bunt posture. Fouls that one to the Pioneers dugout. Lights clearly on. Sun has been behind clouds for almost all of this game. Another square around the bunt, and that will go down the third base line and roll foul. Carter Vrabel staying back on that bunt attempt, but if that had stayed fair, nobody had a shot at that one. That's one of those, the third baseman, if it's going to get by the pitcher, you have to come, whether the play is on for you to stay back or not. But probably not a chance to get Arsenault. Looks like he runs pretty well, but now he's down in the count. No balls, 2 strikes with Jacob Rowald on deck. Clotfelter really needs a strikeout here, but he gets a pop-up to shallow right field. Jace Mizell with the runner starting to tag. Mizell makes the catch and will throw on one hop to the cutoff man, Ethan Huddleston. Clotfelter gets a fly out with no runner advancement. Jace Mizell had an outfield assist in one of the games this past weekend. A fly out and throw out at the plate to end the inning in a crucial part of the game. So now one out with Rowald in on the left side. Fastball misses away. Rowald fly out to left field and fly out to right field in his 2 plate appearances here in game 2. Breaking pitch misses down low. Vineyard able to keep it in front. But Clotfelter behind in the count now as Rowald licking his chops. He was 0 for 2 with a run scored, 2 strikeouts and a hit by pitch in game 1. Swinging a ground ball that will go foul and just off the glove of Landon Gotze down at first base. So Rowald looking for his first hit of the season. 1 run, 4 hits for the Blue Storm. 1 run, 3 hits for the Pioneers. Trying to even the series as swinging a foul ball off to the left side. Split the doubleheader today, come back tomorrow at a 9-inning affair. 1 game tomorrow to finish out the week. 2-2 pitch. Just outside. Brings us to a Dudat Communications full count. If you need it, we can do that. From design to fabrication and delivery, there's no project too big or too small. Do that in Hendersonville. There's ball 4. So Clotfelter has walked the bases loaded with 1 out, bringing Nick Varon to the plate. Struck out and flew out to right field. Had a big 2 RBI single in game 1 in that 5-run 6th inning. Big job by Braden Vineyard right here to keep everything in front of him. Keep this force out in effect as Varon checks his swing, but it's a called strike. Clotfelter looking for a strikeout or a ground ball to a middle infielder. Looking for that double play. 0-1. Swung on and fouled off the screen. Ahead in the count now is Eli Klopfelter. On deck, Emmanuel Scott for the Blue Storm. Lady Pioneers underway across campus playing the Jackson College Jets. And Klopfelter gives up an easy one as he hits Varon with an 0-2 breaking pitch. Second hit batter of the ball game for Klopfelter. And that will be the end of the day for Eli as head coach Jim McGuire out of the dugout. So we will have a Summit Concrete call to the bullpen when we return. You're listening to the Vol State Sports Network. Summit Concrete call to the bullpen for the Pioneers. Redshirt sophomore Chase Birdwell from Lebanon, Tennessee, Lebanon High School, coming in making his second appearance of the year. Birdwell pitched in game one of the series and picked up a one-inning save, struck out one batter, actually came in the bottom of the seventh inning with the bases loaded. And hey, look at here, he's in the same situation. Not the bottom of the seventh, but he came into a 1-0 ball game and retired three batters in a row, fly out, strike out, and ground out to get the bases loaded, no out save. Young Chase Birdwell. And he is looking to not get the save here, but at least shut the door on the Blue Storm as he is on in relief of Eli Klopfelter, who went 4 1/3 innings, give up 4 hits, 4 walks, 3 strikeouts, and 2 hit batters. And he will face Emmanuel Scott with 1 run in and 1 out, and the bases are loaded. Big overhand breaking pitch in there by the Birdman. Called strike. Birdwell in 2022 had 4 appearances on the mound through 1 2/3 innings. Give up 2 hits. There's a breaking pitch popped up in the shallow left field. On comes Jake Burris, and he will make the catch in left field, and he will make the throw home, and he is toasted cheese. At the plate is Jared Comia, and there is, according to my statistical analysis from a year ago, the junior college leader in outfield assists in 2022. He had 9 of them, and there's number 1 for the 2023 season as we have a fly out to left field and a 8-2 put out at the plate to end the inning. So Bird comes in and gets the job done. Southwestern Illinois College does take the lead with a run in the top of the 5th inning. We'll be right back on the Vol State Sports Network. Two to one, Pioneers are down. Here headed to the bottom of the 5th inning. Braden Vineyard will lead off to face the new pitcher. Summit Concrete called to the bullpen for the Blue Storm. Number 15, Nick Burns, a 6'5", 245-pound right-handed freshman from Circleville, Ohio. On the mound at the stretch and delivers. Fastball fouled off the screen by Braden Vineyard. So Chase Birdwell has come in to 2 bases loaded situations and had success both times. He throws a fly out into an outfield assist to end the top of the 5th inning for SWIC. They received 3 walks and a hit batter that scored 1 run and threatened to score a bunch. Vineyard swings and misses. On deck, Matt Hall for the Pioneers. Then back to the top of the lineup. Jake Burris in left field in 2022 had 9 outfield assists. 7 or 8 were runners trying to score. There's a line drive that'll go foul just in front or into the Blue Storm bullpen. A Summit Concrete remodeled, refurbished, rehabbed bullpen a couple falls ago. Thank you to Chuck Akers for his support and donation to Volunteer State Baseball. Count goes 2 balls and 2 strikes to Braden Vineyard. Struck out in his first plate appearance. Looking to continue that hot hitting. Going 3 for 4 in his last game down in Central Alabama. Staying in the count here as fighting off tough pitches from Nick Burns, who comes in relief of Matt Maloney, who went 4 innings, gave up 3 hits, 1 run. It was unearned. No walks, 4 strikeouts for the twin brother of shortstop Mike Maloney. 2-2 way outside brings us to a MGM Industries full count. Again, we thank Joe Gaskins, one of the owners, friend of mine from MGM Industries here in Hendersonville, and his son-in-law, Vice President Patrick Stewart, for their donation to Vol State Baseball and the press box. Beautiful custom windows that they've made. There's a full count. First pitch, foul ball. Two for 3 unofficially. Not that anybody's keeping that stat other than me. We'll do it again. Ball 4. Braden Vineyard gets the party started here in the bottom of the 5th inning with a leadoff walk. Brings to the plate Matt Hall. 3 hits in the 4-game series last weekend. Looking for his first hit of the day, as most of these Pioneers hitters are. Only got 1 hit as he lays down a bunt. It will go foul. Caught in the runner's lane by Nick Varon down the first base line. Strike 1. Coach McGuire going for the tie right now, is trying to get Vineyard into scoring position for the top of the order. 3 hits in the ball game by Ethan Huddleston, Jace Mizell, and Brody Melton. Another square around a bunt, and he will foul that one straight back. And other than the netting behind home plate, that would have tested the strength of these MGM Industries custom windows. Don't know that they made them to take a foul ball. So thankfully there's a good net behind home plate. Hall now down in the count, no balls, 2 strikes, and he will take one in the helmet. Down goes Hall, and we have seen this before, not for Matt Hall, but Jacob Burris or Josh Griffin took about 3 off of the helmet a year ago, ended up having to sit out a week with a concussion, and Coach McGuire will have to make the assessment. I don't believe that trainer Justin McKinney is here, but Coach McGuire is going to be precautionary here, and he's already signaling for somebody to come in to pinch run for Matt Hall. These days, coaches don't play around too much with these head injuries, and so we will have a pinch runner. I'm going to guess that is Corbin Overbay, and it is. He will come into pinch run and then more than likely move into second base for Matt Hall. So that puts runners at first and second. Another 0-2 pitch that came up and in as David Garcia comes out to talk to his pitcher, who's now walked a batter and hit a batter. Corbin Overbay making his collegiate debut from Sevierville, Tennessee, Sevierville High School. That puts runners at first and second with nobody out. Jake Burris stepping to the plate. And I would guess a bunt situation here for Jake Burris. Again, thank you for joining us on the Vol State Sports Network, YouTube, and Twitter. If you want to join the program, send an email to treese treecesports@gmail.com. TREECE sports@gmail.com. Thank you for those that have already checked in on the broadcast for the Rices or Dave Holbrook. And that ball gets, no, he's going to call a foul ball. I thought he missed that bunt attempt. But a foul ball that went back to the backstop. Jake Burris, one of those crafty 3-year players that I guarantee what's going on in his mind is he'd like to get that bunt down, but boy, he sure would like to get on base too. Nick Varon down at first base is on the grass. Cameron Hailstone also on the grass, but there's a chance he may stay back at third base. He's creeping and coming, and there's a ground ball to first base. Nick Varon, one play is to first base only, and he'll throw over to second baseman Jonah James. So good job on the sacrifice bunt by Jake Burris. Puts Vineyard on at third base and Overbay down at second base. So the tying and go-ahead runs in scoring position for Ethan Huddleston, who's 1 for 2. Scored the only run for the Pioneers. Takes a fastball on the outside corner, about belt high. Huddleston hit a 3-run home run down in Central Alabama in Game 4. Similar situation here. Not that the Pioneers were down. There's a fastball. That one might have got away. Or they might have got one on that one. That one looked a little bit farther out than I've seen called all day long. And Huddleston, the victim of another pitch on that outside corner that might have been just a little bit past that river. Going to have to fight now. Infield playing in. Another pitch that gets up high on an 0-2. Once again, Huddleston got to be flashing back to a year ago. With a similar pitch like that, got him on the hand, broke his hand. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 1 out, 2 runners on. Stays off of that off-speed pitch that goes low and away. A year ago, Ethan Huddleston was a starting second baseman. Josh Griffin starting shortstop, and Carter Vrabel starting third baseman. Josh Griffin has now moved on to Trevecca. They start their season, I believe, today here in Nashville. Huddleston moved now over to shortstop. That ball is inside and gets off the glove of Emmanuel Scott. This game is tied. Pitch came close to hitting Huddleston either on the chest or at least on the shirt. So, wild pitch, fellas. Pitchers. Got 2-3 pitchers in this press box now, and they all said wild pitch. I was kind of expecting a pass ball. He should have caught it, but no. And did he get hit on that one? As we had a full count, and that's the third batter today. I didn't even see where it happened. Where did he get hit there? In that left arm. Ball 4, putting runners at first and third.
Now batting, number 34.
Still no hits in the inning. 2 hit batters. Nick Burns come in relief. Now he will face 3-hole hitter Jace Mizell, who's 1 for 2 and reached base both plate appearances, reached on an error. There's a wild fastball that's outside. Looks like A right-hander getting loose down in the SWIC bullpen. Fastball called strike. Matt Maloney went the first 4, give up 3 hits, 1 unearned run, no walks, 4 strikeouts, and there's going to be a called strike on the outside corner. Jace Mizell down in the count, 1 ball, 2 strikes. We've had a walk and 2 hit batters with a sacrifice bunt in the mix. Score 1 run here in the bottom of the 5th inning, and threatening. Jace Mizell goes down swinging on a nice fastball outside the zone. And we'll bring to the plate with 2 outs Landon Godsey, who's been a strikeout victim, both swinging and looking.
Now batting, number 30, Landon Godsey.
Godsey also with a home run on the season. That wind is still catching that flag out there in dead center field. There's a drive out to center field. Comia goes back, and he will make another over-the-shoulder running catch as Godsey laid the wood to that one. But, again, the wind holding those balls up. So, line out to center field retires Landon Godsey, but the Pioneers do score 1 run on no hits, no errors, 2 runners left on base. All tied up after 5. Stick with us. We got a tight one here at Gallatin, Tennessee. You're listening to the Vol State Sports Network. Tim Rees back at Vol State Community College in Gallatin, Tennessee, Middle Tennessee, for the top of the 6th inning here in game number 2. It is all knotted up 2-2 between Southwestern Illinois College and Belleville, Illinois, just outside of St. Louis, against the hometown Pioneers. Matt Hall has gone out to second base. Trainer Justin McKinney apparently has gotten to the Pioneer dugout and checked out Matt Hall, and he's okay. So Corbin Overbay, who got his pinch running debut in college, I guess he's still able to come back into the game. It's almost like it's a part-time pinch run that he's allowed. And first pitch in there by Chase Birdwell, swinging strike. And he tried to step on one there to Jonah James. Threw that one in the dirt. 1 ball and a strike. Jonah James, 1 for 2. Struck out looking and singled to right field. Swing and a miss. Like something off speed inside. Maybe, I don't know if he's got almost like he's gripping that thing like he's got a fork ball or something. He's got a splitter. There's a big overhand curveball. Hit out to Huddleston, who stays down, throws high to Landon Godsey, able to get up and back down on the bag for out number one. So with one out, Cameron Hailstone scheduled and is coming to the plate. Hailstone 0 for 2, ground out and a pop out. Hunter Searcy still in left, Burris in center, Mizell in right, Vrabel at third, Huddleston at short, Hall at second base, Godsey at first, Braden Vineyard behind the plate to try to stop a fastball in the dirt by Chase Birdwell, who's still on the mound for the Pioneers after getting 2 outs with 1 batter in the top of the 5th inning. Fly out to, actually it ended up in shallow left center field, breaking pitch in the dirt. Jake Burris came over from his center field spot and called off Hunter Searcy with the bases loaded. Made the catch and the throw on the fly to Braden Vineyard, who applied the tag for out number 3. But now Birdwell with 1 out has gone 3 balls, no strikes to Cameron Hailstone. On deck, Mason Rohr. There's a fastball in there on the inside corner. The 3-1, and that misses way outside. That is the first batter to reach on Chase Birdwell in the 2023 season. David Garcia steps down from his third base coaching box, and it looks like he's going to make a change. We might have a pinch runner down at first base for Cameron Hailstone, and it will be, see if we can pick up a number. Number 9, I believe that was Brendan Brock is the pinch runner. Brendan Brock, number 9 at first base to pinch run for Cameron Hailstone.
Now batting, number 17, Mason Rohr.
So 1 out walk by Cameron Hailstone, replaced by Brendan Brock, and Mason Rohr will step to the plate. Tried to hold up on a high fastball and could not. Rohr 0 for 2 with 2 fly outs to left field. Hunter Searcy has moved to fairly deep left field. Jake Burris fairly deep out there in center field with that flag is stiff, moving in from center field toward the left field line. Kind of surprised that they're that deep. Runner goes on a breaking pitch called a ball, and that ball, I mean, you talk about some left to right curve on it. Braden Vineyard threw a screwball. Stolen base by Brock.
For me.
1-1 now to the batter with a runner in scoring position. Birdwell's fastball goes low. Chase Mizell looks like he's playing in maybe a couple steps. Maybe he's playing regular depth. But I'm really surprised that Jake Burris is playing that deep in center field with fly balls not really going that deep. There's a swing and a miss by Rohr. I'm telling you, you see Vineyard's ball throwing even back to Bird. It is tailing. You're going to have to get those fingers over the top of those 4 seams Throw that thing over the top. 2-2 pitch coming to Roar, the number 9 hole hitter in the Blue Storm lineup. Breaking pitch blocked by Vineyard. Brings us to a MGM Industries full count. Located on Free Hill Road. Had two characters that were the deconstruction and the construction, the installers for them. There's a swing and a pop-up that Braden Vineyard will come over into foul territory and make the grab. So a full count, first pitch foul ball, but a pop out to Vineyard for out number 2. Big out right there for the Pioneers. Brings the top of the order to the plate, and the man who scored both runs here for the Blue Storm, Mike Maloney. 0 for 1. He's been hit by a pitch and walked, so each time that he's been gifted a base, he has made good use of it. He's come around to score. So 2 outs now and a runner at second with a huge lead. He'll go to third on the breaking pitch. He could have gone in standing. There was no attempt to move him back to third base. So the second stolen base by pinch runner Brendan Brock puts him on at third base, which puts some pressure on Braden Vineyard behind the plate and Chase Birdwell, the pitcher. He's got that big overhand curveball. So he misses with that fastball. 2 balls and no strikes. Go ahead run on at third base. After a walk, stolen base. Fastball. That's another one of those that got outside. Probably on the other side of that white line, called strike. Pioneers trying to strand a runner at third here in the top of the 6th inning. Fastball misses down low. On deck, Jared Comia, who's not allowed a ball to get over his head in center field today. Made 3 or 4 running catches over his head. Fastball on the outside corner, called strike. We have a Right Rug Flooring full count. Thank you to Kerry Gilbert, friend of mine who's a salesman with Right Rug Flooring, R-I-T-E Rug Flooring. Provided press box carpeting and installation. There is a full count, strike 3 on the inside corner by Chase Birdwell to retire the Blue Storm here in the top of the 6th inning. No runs, no hits, no errors, 1 runner left on base. We're through 5 1/2, and the score is tied 2-2. You're listening to the Vol State Sports Network. Bottom of the sixth
Carter.
brings up Carter Vrabel to the plate for the Pioneers. He will face Nick Burns on for his second inning of relief. Breaking pitch misses low and inside, or low and outside. Apologize. We got a new catcher behind the plate for Southwestern Illinois, but I don't know who it is. Hard to see that number with the catching gear back there. So as soon as we have an idea, we'll let you know. It's a one number on the back. Carter Vrabel now looking at a 3-0 pitch. It's probably going to be starter Chris Akers, number 6. He was starter of game 1. Here's a 3-0 pitch called strike at the knees. So that's going to be my final answer, Chris Akers. Now behind the plate. And I would assume he came in for Emmanuel Scott. There's a 3-1 pitch on the outside corner. We are on to a right rug flooring full count. Get a hold of Kerry Gilbert, Keary, Gilbert at rightrug.com. Right, R-I-T-E, rug.com. That ball's hit out into center field, and it will drop in front of Jared Comia. He can go back on it, but that ball was hit off of the handle a bit, and Carter Vrabel collects his first hit of the 2023 season. Take him any way you can get him, Carter. You just hit them where they ain't. Brings it to plate. Brody Melton, what happened? Jay Sharla thought he was going to go into pinch run, but instead he's stepping to the plate for Brody Melton. I would guess this is a bunt situation that he's going to call on Jay Sharla, big Jay Sharla, to lay down a bunt. David Garcia is coming out to talk to home plate umpire Devin Flanagan. He's asking, looks like he's pointing toward the baseline to see if Jay Sharla has come across, if that means anything that he came across the third base line. Does that put him into the game in some other capacity? I don't know that I've ever heard that before, but David Garcia, the head coach of Southwestern Illinois College, will ask home plate umpire to go out and talk to Todd Mullins, the base umpire, regarding his question. Mullins gives his opinion. Back to Flanagan. Mullins, a more senior umpire than Devin Flanagan. I know that Flanagan this is at least his second year to umpire in college baseball, and we had him last year, and I've had him several games. So big Jay Sharla will come in to pinch hit for Brody Melton from Riverdale High School, and he will square around a bunt, take the first pitch on the outside corner. Called strike. 5'9", 160-pound sophomore from Murfreesboro, Tennessee. Engineering major, the son of Jake and Delynn Sharla. Frequent listeners to this broadcast. Down in the count, 0 balls and 1 strike. He will pull the bat back on that bunt, and count goes to 1 ball, 1 strike. And a Mamaw in Murfreesboro and a Granny in Marshall, also in Murfreesboro. Entered into 2 games a year ago, had 3 total at-bats, ended up with 3 RBIs, a single, and he will get the bunt down, and that's going to be a base hit for big Jay Sharla as he hustles down the line. Third baseman thought that the pitcher was going to get it. The pitcher thought the third baseman was going to get it. So Jay Sharla comes in to get the job done, and he will get a bunt single to put runners at first and second with nobody out, and Hunter Searcy stepping to the plate. And that will be the end of the evening for Nick Burns. Will be taken down for a new pitcher. We'll have a Summit Concrete call to the bullpen when we return on the Ball State Sports Network. Summit Concrete call to the bullpen for the Blue Storm. Number 12, Joseph Crum, 6'2" sophomore, right-handed pitcher from Springfield, Illinois, is on in relief of Nick Burns. Crum was in 5 games a year ago through 7 2/3 innings, gave up 10 hits, 5 runs, all earned. Walked 5, struck out 7. And he is on with runners at first and second, nobody out, to face Hunter Searcy. Squares around the bunt. Wheel play is on. Breaking pitch low and outside. Searcy will try to move Carter Vrabel and Jay Sharla to third and second respectively. Shortstop moves down, and there's a breaking pitch that is fouled to Braden Vineyard on the on-deck circle. It's a big overhand curveball from Joseph Crum. So on this wheel play, you have the first baseman, Nick Varon, who's charging hard. Third baseman, Cameron Hailstone, also charging hard to the plate. Shortstop Mike Maloney going over to the third base bag. Let's see if they have that play on again. Hunter Searcy squaring around. Looks like the shortstop will stay put, maybe for that step-off play. And you only get one opportunity per batter to try that play. Searcy still squaring around. Shortstop will stay put, popped up, and that will go foul as both the catcher, Akers, and Crum will reach for it at the same time. So Searcy so far unable to get the bunt down. We'll see with no outs if Coach McGuire continues to put the bunt play on. I wouldn't say that it's foregone conclusion that he would not. Searcy looking for his first hit. So in 4 college at-bats, Jay Sharla batting 1,000 and 750 on base average. Hunter Searcy not bunting. He will swing and miss and go down on strikes. So Joseph Crum comes in and gets a much-needed strikeout for the Blue Storm, and now Braden Vineyard comes to the plate.
Now batting, number 37, Braden Vineyard.
Now, almost 10 minutes past the hour. 6 o'clock here at Central Time. There's one stop or a step off right there. And are we saying that's ball one? The home plate umpire, as he has stepped off. I thought you could do that one per at bat. Put a ball up there on the old scoreboard and see if, in fact, that is what happened. And they didn't change it, so we got 1 ball, 1 strike. I don't know that rule apparently well enough. I thought you could step off for each batter. You pitchers, is that not? It's not per inning, is it?
I thought it was per batter.
Well, at Braden Vineyard, a breaking pitch in the dirt. Akers blocks it. It goes out toward Crum. Jay Sharla stays put at first base, but Carter Vrabel will move on down to third base on the wild pitch. Sharla unsure of where that ball, I guess, had how far away from the pitcher, or I mean the catcher. It actually caromed out to the pitcher pretty well, so we got a ball 2. Oh, he did. Okay, so not.
I think he was saying that's your 1 step off.
Oh, okay. Well, I thought there was a lot of animation as there's now ball 2. Okay, I didn't see him turn around and indicate to the press box. All right, so the count is 2 balls and a strike to Braden Vineyard. On deck, Matt Hall. Sharla with a big lead over there at first base. He is not going. Vineyard swings and misses. I'm seeing he's given 3-2. It is a full count. Okay, we do have a full count. I thought there was way more to that. So we have a right rug flooring full count. We'll throw over to first base. Sharla back in time. Carpet, tile, hardwood, luxury vinyl plank, and laminate. Go to rightrug.com, R-I-T-E rug.com. Put in some nice carpet squares up here in the press box. And all a donation from Kerry Gilbert. Runner goes. Pitch is swung on and fouled off to the right side. Now 4 for 6 on the ball game for full count. First pitch, foul balls. Lovely wife putting in her order for supper before I come home. She wants some Zaxby's. We're going to have to get a Zaxby's. Runner goes, swung on and missed. Sharla steals second base, so a strikeout. Retires Vineyard. Sharla swipes the bag at second base. And I'm going to go with the first stolen base by Big Jay Sharla. And that is his first attempt and his first steal of his collegiate career. Matt Hall sees a breaking pitch high. So the go-ahead run and Carter Vrabel down at third base. Jay Sharla down at second. Breaking pitch misses. Joseph Crum has come in and struck out Hunter Searcy and Braden Vineyard with 2 runners on base. Matt Hall, who was hit in the head, his last plate appearance, starts to go. They want to check with the base umpire, who says no, he did not go. Count goes 3 balls and no strike. That's the second time that the Blue Storm has been pretty vehement on their displeasure on a partial swing. There's a 3-0 pitch in there for a strike one. That Hall flew out to center field and was plunked, sat down for a little while as Corbin Overbay came in. There's a line drive that will get into the glove of second baseman Jonah James for out number 3. So just as Chase Birdwell came in and shut the door for the Pioneers, Joseph Crum came in and did the same thing with 2 runners on and nobody out. So no runs, 2 hits, no errors, 2 runners left on base. We're still tied heading to the 7th inning, which is regulation here in Game 2. Score is 2-2. You're listening to the Vol State Sports Network. Inning number 7 in Game 2. Game that the Pioneers would really like to get in the win column to split this doubleheader today to go into the rubber match tomorrow after losing Game 1 7-0 against Southwestern Illinois College. SWIC will send to the plate 2, 3, and 4. In the lineup, Jared Comia will lead off against Chase Birdwell. Breaking pitch in there for a called strike. Not sure if that's my eyes or the picture is getting pretty blurry. I'm not really sure why. 0-2 pitch. Maybe on your big screen TV at home it looks better than on my iPad, but 0-2 pitch coming to Jared Comia. Played every inning of today's doubleheader. Started out 2 base hits. He is 1 for 1 with 2 walks here in Game 2. 0-2 pitch on the outside corner, and Jared Comia is as a surprised, stunned reaction. Chase Birdwell now with his 2nd strikeout, and that's 2 batters in a row. He got Maloney on a 3-2 pitch to end the 6th inning. Chase Birdwell, redshirt sophomore, 3rd year with the program. Going to be counted on this year for some key relief appearances. He gets a swinging strike 1 for Gavin Arsenault. 1 for 2, a sacrifice fly and a single. Birdwell in relief of Eli Klotfelter, who went 4 1/3. There's a pitch right down the can. Says, hit me if you can. Bird feeling it right now in the top of the 7th. He's looking for a win after getting a save in his first appearance of the year a week ago. actually on Saturday down in central Alabama. The 0-2 pitch. Fastball misses outside. Good pitch right there. See if Arsenault would take a hack at the 0-2 pitch. On deck, Jacob Roald. Arsenault hitting in the DH spot this game. There's a breaking pitch, grounded up the middle, off the glove of Chase Birdwell. Hall has to come and make a throw on the run, and it gets by. On the play, tough hop as, is that Chase Birdwell that was backing up over there? He absolutely was backing up the play, got the ball off of the first base wall past the dugout, makes a throw on the run. It actually gets there ahead of the runner, but it was a hop. Throw was a one-hopper, and Huddleston had a little trouble actually receiving it and then making the tag. So the runner is safe. I believe that's going to be an infield single off the glove of Chase Birdwell, and then an error on Matt Hall to get Arsenault down to second base. At least that's how I'm going to put it in my book.
Now batting, number 32, Jacob Roll.
So we will get the runner at second base with one out. Starts to go. Called strike to Roald, who has a little knee flex there, and not happy with that call. I might not have been myself. Birdwell almost made a fantastic play. Birdwell, long stretch. That ball's popped up in the infield. Vrabel over toward the fence, and he will need to come back, and does, as that ball is pushed back into closer to fair territory. Makes the catch outside of your view for out number 2. Didn't think that ball was going to be as close to the fence as it ended up being. And then, as it always does, you think it's going farther out of play than it actually is. So 2 outs now. Nick Varon stepping to the plate, 0 for 2. Strikeout and a hit by pitch. Overhand curveball misses inside. Birdwell trying to pitch out of trouble after giving up the infield single. Probably would have been better off had he not touched that ball. Matt Hall probably had an easier play on the ground ball that looked like it was heading to Hall's right. Here's a breaking pitch on the outside corner, called strike. Scheduled for 7 innings here in doubleheader, as there is action in the bullpen for the Blue Storm. A right-hander, I can't see his number. 1-1 pitch on the outside corner at the knees. Beautiful pitch by Chase Birdwell. Birdwell, the son of Deanna Rogers. Nana and Gandy in Gallatin, Tennessee, and Gigi and Paul in Lebanon. Throw back to second base. Not in time. Arsenault is getting a huge lead out there at second base. I believe I'd throw over there about 4 times in a row. I just set Matt Hall on second base. There's the pitch. Swung on and missed, and down goes Varon as Chase Birdwell has delivered a sterling performance here in 2 2/3 so far. Strikes out this third batter. Strands that infield single at second base. And we are going to the bottom of the 7th inning. Pioneers have a chance to win it with 1 in the last inning. You're listening to the Vol State Sports Network. Leading off the bottom of the 7th inning, top of the order for the Pioneers, Jake Burris. He takes the first pitch from Joseph Crum, breaking pitch inside for ball 1. Has a line drive to right field, and that will get in the glove of the right fielder. Let's see if we can figure if that's still Mason Rohr out there. See if it's number 17. There are some changes. That limit looks like it's probably at Samuel Bonaldi, I believe, who finished game 1. New third baseman is Grant Richards. So 1 out brings up Ethan Huddleston. He will lay down a bunt, third base line, and that'll be a tough play by Richards. Throw on to first base, gets by the first baseman. That'll be an infield single. And Ethan Huddleston has got that bunt down the third base line working. And there's your winning run down at first base.
Now batting, number 34, Jace Mizell.
So Jace Mizell, the pride of Metropolis, Illinois, at the plate. There's a step off right there. We're going to say another ball 1. So I don't know what's going on. I thought you got one of those per batter, but he said ball 1, so put a ball up there. I don't know why the umpire doesn't turn around and tell us for sure, but he did the same thing right there, and I'd say it's ball 1. There's now ball 1 and strike 1. Okay, so you'd already put it up there, you said? Oh, okay. All right, my bad. I thought you just didn't do it, but all right, we got 1 ball, 1 strike. And the umpires have seen the scoreboard, and nobody's turned around. Throw over to first while Huddleston walks off the base. So I thought the rule was you got 1 step off per at-bat, but apparently you don't. Breaking pitch swung on and fouled off, and Jace Mizell just missed that pitch. He'd like that one back. That was a slow breaker that he'd like to drive into right center field. Loves going into that gap. Huddleston at first stays put. Chris Akers, who's come in behind the plate. He was the game 1 starter. Now behind the plate, Grant Richards is at third base. There's a throw over to first. And we've got, who was it? Samuel Bonaldi, who's now in right field. Have to check to see who's there. There's a ball driven down the left field line, but it will go way foul. Count remains 2 balls, 2 strikes. Should still be Jacob Rowald out there in left field, and it is. Mike Maloney at short. There's a swing and a miss. Joseph Crum comes up big once again with a strikeout of Jace Mizell, and that puts 2 outs on the board. 3 strikeouts now for Crum. Let's see if Coach McGuire gets adventurous with Ethan Huddleston to see if he can get down to second base for Godsey, who steps to the plate, who's 0 for 3, 2 strikeouts and a line out. He hit the ball on the button out to center field. Comia made a nice over-the-shoulder catch. Huddleston stays put. Breaking pitch on the outside corner called strike. Wind is still blowing in from center field toward the left field line. So be a heck of a poke to get one out of here, but Lenny Godsey's a strong young man. Fouls that one off to the right side. Now down in the count. No balls, 2 strikes. On deck, Carter Vrabel if Godsey should happen to reach without scoring the game-winning run. So Roald in left, Camilla in center, Bonaldi in right. Throw over, first base. Richards at third, Maloney at short. I believe that's still Jonah James. Might be Arsenault. Nope. Jonah James out at second base. Foul ball called at the plate as Huddleston was on the move. So James at second, Varon at first base, and Akers behind the plate for the Blue Storm of Southwestern Illinois. So on the 0-2 pitch, Coach McGuire had Ethan Huddleston on the move. Worst thing that happens there is Huddleston gets thrown out, and Godsey will lead off the bottom of the 8th inning. Huddleston fakes, and Godsey goes down swinging. And we will go to extra innings as Joseph Crum has come in and pitched some high-quality at-bats. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, 1 runner left on base. We're heading to the 8th. All tied up 2-2. You're listening to the Vol State Sports Network. Extra innings here at Vol State. Score tied 2-2. We have a defensive change. Logan Molnar making his collegiate debut. Will come in at shortstop, and he will replace Matt Hall in the number 9 hole. Ethan Huddleston will move from shortstop over to second base. We don't have any definitive word on what's going on with Matt Hall, but he was hit in the head with a pitch a couple innings ago, and that might be the cause of bringing him out of the game. So Logan Molnar, 6'1", 175-pound freshman, true freshman from Thompson Station, Tennessee, Independence High School, business admin major, the son of Joe and Barbara Molnar and the brother to Sam. On at shortstop, Chase Birdwell on the mound. We're going to check down to first base and say that Akers did not go on that breaking pitch. Fastball high. Count goes 2 balls, no strikes. This is Chris Akers' first at-bat of the contest here in Game 2. Started in Game 1. There's a fastball. Little tail to it, little ride on that outside corner. Akers 1 for 4 in Game 1. Swing and a miss. Chase Birdwell on for inning number 4. Came in the middle of inning 5. And pitched the 6th and the 7th and gets a leadoff swing and a miss. Vineyard has to complete the strikeout with a throw down to first base for the put out by Landon Godsey. 4th strikeout by Chase Birdwell, who has eclipsed his innings pitched. He might be 3 times his innings pitched before this day is over from a year ago. Jonah James steps to the plate. He's 1 for 3, asks for timeout. Called strike. And on deck is Grant Richards, who came on for Brendan Brock, who pinch ran for Cameron Hailstone in the top of the 6th inning. Swinging as a drive up the middle. Huddleston throws on the run and makes a fantastic play, throwing to first base, 1 hop to Landon Godsey. And the strong arm of the shortstop, who's moved over to second base, gets Jonah James. What a tremendous play, ranging up the middle by Ethan Huddleston. Was the starting second baseman to begin the 2022 year last year. And as I said, ended up only getting to play 12 games due to injury, and was awarded a medical red shirt to be able to return and keep 2 additional years of eligibility when he moves on to a 4-year school from here. So Grant Richards swings and fouls that pitch straight back. Richards came on in the bottom of the 6th inning at third base. Dances out of the way of that pitch. It stayed inside. 2 outs. Now here in the top of the 8th inning, Chase Birdwell. Fantastic performance so far. Breaky pitch swung on and missed. That is a big pitch for Chase Birdwell. The 2-2 swung on and missed. A high fastball. Birdwell sets him down. 1, 2, 3. We're going to the bottom of the 8th. Pioneers, 1 run to win it. You're listening to the Vol State Sports Network. Bottom of the 8th inning. Every bottom of the inning now is the final at-bat possibility for Volunteer State. Carter Vrabel leading off. He hits a ground ball to short. That's Mike Maloney will throw on the run, and it will be in the dirt. And Nick Varon is unable to come up with that play. Slowly hit ground ball. There's a chance. All right, give me a thumbs up for an infield base hit or a thumbs down for an error. Go now. Okay, we got 3-1. We're going to give it an error.
Number 35.
Three pitchers said an error. And the hitter says a hit. There's a big Jay Sharla. Another opportunity to get this time a sac bunt. Not an easy play by a shortstop, but probably one he should have made. Sharla squares, starts the bunt, but pulls it back. Joseph Crum wants to have home plate umpire check, and home plate umpire Devin Flanagan says he will not check. Coach Garcia is asking, why won't you check? And I'm not sure what the answer is, but Devin Flanagan says, no, I will not. So we got a 2-0 count on Jay Sharla. Home plate umpire says that's enough. Sharla will square around again and pull the bat back on a fastball that stays high. This is one of the few times that a young man who's 5'9" is happy to be 5'9", tough to pitch to, and that pitch gets in on the outside corner, called strike. Sharla not squaring around a bunt there. We'll see if the bunt is still on. He did bunt a sacrifice bunt 2 innings ago, and we'll look at strike 2 on the outside corner. Coach McGuire probably not happy there, but Jay Sharla will have to swing away on this Summit Concrete full count. He will square around, lay it down, or miss it actually, and that will be a strikeout for the first out. 5th strikeout for Crum. So Vrabel reaches on the error by shortstop Mike Maloney, the second error. And Hunter Cersei steps to the plate. He's struck out twice in 3 plate appearances. Throw over to first base. Vrabel back. Vrabel may not be the fastest runner on the team, but he is an excellent base runner. He will take an extra base when he can. Very aggressive runner. So if there's a ball in the dirt, expect Carter to get on the hop and take an extra base. He does not go there. Swing and a miss on a fastball inside. Pioneers looking to push across 1 run anyway, anyhow, here in the bottom of the 8th to split the doubleheader. And that pitch nearly hit Cersei. He was able just to pull away from it. Cersei walked in 3 plate appearances in game 1. Still looking for that first hit. And thought about taking one in the ribs there. But takes it for a ball. 2 balls and a strike. Scoreboard still inexplicably having a number up in the where the error was. Swinging foul straight back. Tyler Holsworth, our scoreboard operator, is fretting about why in the world that 6 is still up there, and I'd be wondering that myself. But you know, at the end of the semester, we're going to give you a credit hour, maybe a quarter credit hour for scoreboard operation. Okay, probably won't go toward your degree, but foul ball. Cersei staying alive. On deck, Braden Vineyard. Big hole between first base and second base. Breaking pitch misses outside, brings us to a line-to-line full count. Line-to-line provided the netting and cushions in front of the dugouts, and the netting and cushioning. Actually, there's probably no cushioning down the bullpens, but some netting that lines the bullpens. They provided a good bit of work. Here's a 3-2, and there's a line drive into right center field as Vrabel was on the hop. If that ball gets to the fence, this ball game is over. Hunter Searcy has just ended the game with a double into right center field. Carter Vrabel slides into home plate, and Hunter Searcy with his first hit of the 2023 campaign with his parents here in attendance walks it off for the Pioneers. 3-2. And that is a final as the Pioneers have gotten that big hit finally. A double into right center field with Carter Vrabel running on the play. He scores all the way from first base, so the unearned run comes home to roost. Joseph Crum will take the loss. A hard luck loss. He pitched a really, really good game. And Chase Birdwell will get the win. Move to 1-0 on the season. So that's a save and a win for the Pioneers. And I will be right back with some game totals. The Pioneers defeat the Blue Storm of Southwestern Illinois College here in Game 2 of the doubleheader, 3-2. I'll be right back. You're listening to the Vol State Sports Network. Tim Reese back on the campus of Volunteer State Community College, where the Pioneers have walked it off here in Game 2. A thrilling 3-2 extra inning game against Southwestern Illinois College. Pioneers scored one in the bottom of the 8th on a double by Hunter Searcy to score Carter Vrabel, who reached on an error by the shortstop, was running on the play, or on the pitch to Hunter Searcy. He lined one into right center field, and Carter Vrabel able to come all the way around to score the game-winning run for the Pioneers. As I said earlier, Chase Birdwell gets the win, moves to 1-0 on the season. Joseph Crum will take the loss and move to 0-1. Pioneers 3 runs, 7 hits, 1 error, 8 runners left on base. Southwestern Illinois College 2 runs, 5 hits, 2 errors, and 9 runs left on base. Pioneers move to 3-3 on the season, and SWIC moves to 1-1 on the young season as well. Rubber game of the match will begin tomorrow at 1 p.m. It'll be a 9-inning, scheduled for 9 innings as it stands right now. So I don't have any starting pitchers listed, but check Twitter for the Vol State sports or Vol State baseball, and you might see a starting pitcher thrown on there. I believe that Blue Storm baseball Twitter page will also list their starting pitcher, or you can join me at 12:50, and hopefully we'll have the lineups for both teams today as the Blue Storm win Game 1 7-0. Throw a one-hitter, a 3-pitcher shutout. Kevin Carvalho, Tyler Robertson, and Adam Wibbenmeyer shut down the Pioneers on 1 hit in Game 1. But Vol State comes back and scores 1 in the 3rd, 1 in the 5th, and 1 run in the bottom of the 8th inning to take Game 2 3-2 here on the campus at Vol State Community College. So thank you all for joining us. We had a large number of folks watching today's contest, and hope you all can come back. Let your family members know we'll have a broadcast tomorrow beginning at 1 Central Time. Actually, we'll start probably about 12:50 Central Time. Hopefully we'll have at least as nice a weather in terms of sunshine for the start of that game. So on behalf of head coach Jim McGuire and athletic director Bobby Hudson, this is Tim Reese for the Vol State baseball program, thanking all of you for your support of Vol State baseball. God bless you. We'll talk to you tomorrow.